Hi, this is Mike, and in this video, I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail about what I think this D wave will look like. Right. So in the last video, I covered the bigger picture. I talked through some of the waves, the C wave especially, and the whole move up from the beginning. Right. But now we're at the point where we're starting to see that potentially the D wave could fake us out. Right. So what I believe is happening here is that D wave within D wave is expanding to the point where it'll go higher. Yes, it'll pull back for E, which will be the B wave. So essentially from here to here or something, right? And then you'll get the final move. But in the process of doing that, the C wave still needs to unfold, which I mean, these things get longer and over time they will make sense. But in the moment, it looks like it's going to go up. This is why I was always careful with trend line breaks because yes, it looks totally logical, and yes, it does work sometimes, but only if you use them on the correct wave, the last wave, right? So trend line break will be really useful when we get the real E wave down, right? So I've made these waves bigger for context. So once you get the real wave E down, the trend line break of that will be way better, right? So in this video, I'm going to talk. Well, I've already spoken basically about this D wave. I also want to give you some kind of price target for Bitcoin. So, given that we understand, well, I believe I understand what the structure could be, right? If we come back down again to, let's just say we come back down to base, just to be conservative. It doesn't need to be all the way down, maybe just a bit higher. All right, let's just say here, for argument's sakes, right? So, what would be the, excuse me, what would be the potential price prediction for Bitcoin if this is the case, right? So I mentioned in my last video what I thought we're seeing, right? So if this is wave five, right, which look, based on what I'm thinking the next bull market will do and the euro and the Dow Jones, that's where this comes from, okay? So don't get it twisted. It doesn't mean it's going to happen 100%, but it could happen, right? So first of all, I'm just going to mark this line out because this is what we're going to use to measure. So potentially what we could see if it comes back down to that level is that we could see Bitcoin go to just above 300,000, right? Now, let's just have a look at this on the BLX chart and see what it could mean. So the level I've got marked here is what 21,741, right? Now, mind you, E wave might go lower, so the target might drop a bit depending on how low E wave goes. And I don't think it's going to go much lower than that. But in case, anyway, let's just leave it at 21,741 for the time being. Let's see what that could mean on the BLX chart. Why? Because I've got the channel drawn on that chart, and I just want to see what that could mean, right? So let's take the length of wave A, right, and just 21 was 21. So roughly around there, and make this sharper, right? I think that what it's going to do is it's going to tap that line. So it's probably going to be from whenever it starts. Obviously, uh, you know, it's going to be an attempt to try and get back into that channel, and a failure to do so will probably end up causing this to drop significantly. Right now, I have my ideas on what that's going to look like when it happens, right? But I don't really want to talk about it yet because it's I find that doing so can get me in trouble, right? But yeah, obviously Bitcoin can overshoot. Obviously the E wave could end higher. Whatever happens, we don't know. But just as an overall thing, judging by the latest analysis that I have, if I'm to draw the point from wave two to wave four, right, then I think that, potentially it's going to try and whack that channel and it'll fail, right, for wave five. Now, you could easily assume that it's going to go higher. You could easily assume a whole bunch of stuff, right? You could even assume that, well, this is wrong and wave five could actually extend much higher, right? Because we know that Bitcoin is really good at extending, right? So I suppose what that means is that fractal patterns have the same components regardless, right? which which to me, look, just because I say that wave five could be this small, right? We're still looking at, like, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars per Bitcoin. So it's up to you whether you want to go down the route of saying, oh, this is maybe a one, two, three of a wave of a larger zigzag that's unfolding. You could go ahead and you can do that because the same corrections are found in wave two as a wave B. So would that be wrong? No, it wouldn't be wrong, right? But I'm trying to give you my interpretation, realistically speaking. Um, I think that maybe it'll try to get back in the channel and it'll fail, right? That's just my opinion. So I'll leave it there for now. Uh, I'm still developing this analysis, especially small degree. But if we're looking at anything to go up, we still need to see a couple of things. So I'll keep you updated.